So recently, Debbie Allen, the original director and producer of A Different World, did a Zoom Where It Happens of A Different World, partnered with Ava DuVernay, I believe, and they had cast members such as Lil Yachty. Oh, is that Lil Yachty? I don't even know these people. But I know for facts it was Yara Shahidi and Storm Reed. And those were the people that they were promoting for the show, okay? So basically, everyone was basically fed up because it was just like, no, you guys aren't telling me that we're gonna have Yara Shahidi, biracial, Storm Reed, who is very light skinned, not biracial, but very, very light skinned, play in A Different World, and you're not gonna show us any dark skinned characters. Everyone was fed up. Everyone was just like, what is going on here? Fast forward, they released an image of the full cast, and there's dark-skinned women in the full cast. But I was still upset even when they showed us the full cast, because one, all of the males that they chose were dark-skinned, and if there was a light-skinned guy, it was probably like one, okay? All the males were dark-skinned. And I was just like, so why is it that the dark skinned girls couldn't be used as a marketing tool? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it, why, I get that Yara Shahidi and Storm Reed are big names amongst the youth, but it was still a bit of a slap in the face for dark skinned women. So fast forward to recently, my roommate and I've been watching A Different World all over again. And I love the show. It starts off a little slow, but as I've been watching it, I'm on season 3. I believe it's like episode 16 I'm on right now. I've just been noticing, oh, so of course they were gonna have biracial light-skinned women represent the characters of A Different World. And of course they were gonna market them because A Different World itself is heavily colorist. It promotes colorism, and it treats dark-skinned women, as of season 3, episode 16, as if we are just these perfect human beings who only care about academics, and we don't care about the social aspect of our lives, and or we can't balance both. It's some weird stuff going on there, and we watch it on Prime Video. It's included with Prime. And I've just never been so disappointed before in my entire life, because I really do love A Different World. And to see only light-skinned women slash biracial women, and to see, and you know, we get Kim and Jaleesa, but what's 2 dark-skinned women out of the 20 light-skinned women that come and go out the show? I even started to recognize that Felicia Rashad, our auntie Felicia, Claire Huxtable, is a little on the lighter side, and I was just so taken aback because I was just like, I didn't realize the pattern here. Like I had assumed, I had forgot what it was like to watch this show, and I had assumed that only Whitley Gilbert was like the lightest person in the show, but no, like all of Dwayne's love interests are light skinned except probably like 1 or 2. All the guys go after the light-skinned women or the biracial women, you know. And when Kim tries to have fun, she immediately is scolded by her father. And then when they kind of make up or whatever, he's shot. He lives, but he's still shot. So she's dealing with that trauma. Jaleesa was once married, is no longer married, gets down the aisle with like Walter. They both decide to call it off. I know later on that Kim has her thing with Ron, and Kim has her thing with a couple different guys, but still it hurts to see that in the first seasons they were pushing this colors agenda as heavy as they were. So, and I guess some people would probably ask me, like, what is it that you want to see? And it's truly more representation of dark-skinned monoracial girls. And I think the part that was so sad about seeing Kim and Jaleesa is how accurate it was. Because for me personally, I do grow up in a household where it's just like, school is everything. You better be getting an education. You don't need a boyfriend. You shouldn't be desiring to date. Your social life, you know, you can have your little friends, but you don't need to be going outside constantly. Like there are a lot of rules to being, and it depends on the person and it depends on the parents. But there's a lot of parents who act like it's high risk not to only have a daughter, but to have a dark-skinned daughter. And you know, I get it. It's supposed to protect us. It's supposed to make sure that we turn out to be the people that we want to be. Kim Reese becomes a doctor. It's great. But Whitley still becomes the art buyer that she wants to become. And yeah, she has that setback, but like I really hate the fact that like people don't make room for dark skinned girls to make our mistakes when it's not normal to live a life with no mistakes. Like, it's absolutely abnormal to do so, and it's unfair to think that we shouldn't have those mistakes. Even when, like, with the elections and everything, it was just like, Stacey Abrams is a great, amazing woman, and she caught a lot of flack for wanting to be, she caught a lot of hatred for wanting to be Joe Biden's VP. She caught a lot of hate for it. People were pretty mad at her, and she was basically canceled for a bit. She was literally canceled for a bit. And I always talk, my friends and I, we always talk about respectability politics and just this idea of what you're supposed to look like on screen. But although Stacey Abrams is probably the woman that we really wanted to be VP, Kamala got there. VP-elect Kamala Harris got there instead of Stacey Abrams. She got there with Black women identifying her as Black, when Kamala tries her very best to, let everybody know that she is as equally as Black as she is Indian American. But that's, that's not her fault. That's really just President Joe Biden elect made sure that everybody saw Kamala as Black American until it was time for her to become vice president elect. And now it's very clear that Kamala is a biracial woman, which is 110% fine. But I just feel like we continuously ignore the patterns, and it just irritates me. Would Kamala have won vice president elect if there wasn't such this heavy emphasis on her being Black American? I don't know. Would Kamala have won vice president elect if she looked less ambiguous than she does? I'm not sure. And I'm just happy that now that it's a couple days after they've been elected, that people and the news sources and news sites are being like, this is a biracial woman. It sucks that people claim to be biracial, or again, it wasn't Kamala. It was the rest of us. It was everybody else. It sucks that after the reward has been received, that now it becomes, oh, remember, I'm as equally as this as I am Black. And the reason it's important for people are always like, don't erase my biracial identity and whatnot. And it's just like, I'm not, I mean, people are like, don't erase me being Black. And it's like, I'm not erasing it. But it's also about making sure that when it's time, because again, it would have been weird if Kamala was able to be like, I'm the first Black VP. It would have been a bad look, because if Stacey Abrams become VP in the future, she can't take that title as being the first Black VP. Even though Kamala is half Black, she's not fully Black. She's not monoracially Black. So therefore, it would have just been her taking a title that didn't belong to her. Okay, so I just checked, and it was either 7 or 9 Black or POC of winners of the Emmys 2020, and I looked up the names of the people who won the Emmys, and I saw the first 3. It was Zendaya, who is biracial, black father, white mother. Then it was Jasmine Jones, who plays our grades Peggy, and she also plays what was her name when she was flirting with Alexander and he had the affair with her. She plays her as well in Hamilton. And her father's Black and her mother is white. And also Maya Rudolph, whose mother is Black, father is white. And again, it's just in this weird position where I don't, it's just like, maybe they should have been listed as biracial artists and not just Black. I just feel like that is so strange, because it's like, when have these people ever been outcasted per se? especially when a lot of these people are passing or very just ambiguous and you wouldn't even know that they were Black. So I feel like there's a lot of work to be done. And again, it just brought so many feelings of just like, geez, I was under the impression that back then in the 90s, 80s, we were seeing a lot more representation, and we still were. But if the biggest TV shows of all time was centered on ambiguity, fair skin, it's just like, what's the point? I can't even be excited the way I wanted to be excited. So this is coming from a place of disappointment that we are continuously letting it get as far as it has, where it just relates to the complete erasure of monoracial Black women. And I don't feel the need to stop talking about it. I think we need to have a discussion on it. People get offended when you're like, hey, don't forget that this person is biracial. For some reason, people get offended by that in the Black community. You can't call certain people biracial without them being highly upset about it. But it's just like, hey, don't be mad at me. Be mad at the fact that these people take these awards and on paper they allow themselves to be referred to as Black, when in real life they understand, they know that they are Black and white, or they are Black and non-Black. And again, it's not erasing your Blackness, it's just acknowledging that I had a leg up. I had a leg up on obtaining the role that I did. I had a leg up on getting the representation that I do, on being able to be marketable. You got a heads up, and it's okay. We're recognizing it, and we're gonna do something about it. I'm not saying get rid of people or like in their careers, not saying that at all, but I'm saying there is space to be made, and there will be space made. So that's my little rant for today, and I'll continue watching A Different World, and I'm just gonna be waiting to see Kim and Jalise being treated as real people and not per se these perfect working machines who can't balance work and a social life.